Good morning and welcome to On the Money right here on WDBO AM 580, always streaming inside your very own WDBO app. It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday. You know what that means. Time to hop on the airwaves, hop on the conversation with the team at Certified Financial Group, as you have done for over 3 decades here on the airwaves of WDBO. The team at Certified Financial Group always providing a live certified financial planner to take your calls. Maybe you heard something in the news. I think there has been a bit of news happening lately. Maybe you heard your uncle or your nephew who knows all about Bitcoin or something that you want to just fact check. We have fact checkers on the air right now. 2 certified financial planners with the Certified Financial Group. If you want to call in, 844-580-9326. Before we get back to the topic, I want to introduce a brand new voice on the show. How are we doing today?
Good. How are you?
Doing well. We got Jessica Hall and Aaron Bert, 2 certified financial planners. You recognize the name Aaron Bert, but Jessica Hall is new to the airwaves, and I want to say hello, Jessica.
Thank you. Good morning.
So, go ahead, Aaron.
Yeah, so Jessica and I are here to answer calls having to do with your personal financial situation. And our clients who know us know that on a day-to-day basis, Monday through Friday, we meet with people talking about their retirement, accumulating money, decumulating money, answering questions about investments, long-term care, annuities, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, life insurance, Medicare, all these taxes is a big one now. All these different things Jessica and I talk about day in and day out with clients. Monday through Friday, we do that for a fee. But on Saturday morning, we are here doing that for you absolutely free. And as Josh mentioned, it is Jessica's first time on the show. I'll do a brief introduction. Jessica's been with us now this is her 5th year. She's on her 5th year, or working into her 5th year. And she joined us shortly after COVID and has been working with our team and is a part of our team, a very vital part of our team, doing financial planning for our clients and helping support the team that we have here at Certified Financial Group. And I was going to give her the opportunity to kind of talk a little bit about herself and introduce herself. So take it away, Jessica.
Thanks, Aaron. So as Aaron said, I've been here about 5 years, going on 5 years now. I started in banking 13 years ago and then worked my way up into management, kind of got too far from the client base that I enjoyed working with most. So traveled into advisory with a big brokerage wirehouse, many of you know. So I was there for about 2 years and then found my way here. So met Joe and the rest was history, and hopefully this is my forever home. But personally, I'm a Central Florida native. I've born and raised in Claremont for the most part, moved around a little bit. I am soon to be married to the most wonderful man I know. And our family is made up of my stepson. He's about to turn 14. And we have 2 dogs. One's about to get surgery on Monday. She's a little older. So best of luck to her. And just personally, we enjoy being outdoors and hiking. And yeah, but as Aaron said, I'm part of their team. And you can call me, ask me any questions if he's not around, or if you just prefer to talk to somebody else.
Which a lot of people do seem to like to talk to Jessica besides me. And so hopefully we'll get some of those calls here on the air as well, having anything to do, like we said earlier, with personal finances. So if you have a call, Josh, you got those magic numbers to give out for us?
I got them. Write them down. Put them in your phone for Saturday morning. Certified Financial Group available to you for free at 844-580-9326. That's 844-580-9326, 844-580-WDBO, or send in your open mic using the free WDBO app. Today's topic is the psychology of money.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is so important. You know, whenever people hear that we're financial planners or financial advisors, they only think that we're just nerds with numbers and spreadsheets.
Yep, we get that a lot.
Well, we can calculate anything in our heads, but it's really much more than that, and it's really important, the psychology side of it. You know, people can have 2 of the exact incomes, but really have complete different outcomes in life because it's more based on their behaviors and their choices that they make. And so a lot of times when we sit down with people, we're getting to know their money behaviors. We're getting to know their feelings around their money decisions and their basic money stories. You know, we can run the math and show them the outcome based on their decisions that they make, but really it's about coaching, about maybe changing some of their past of what they've always known and And really the success is not about what you know, but how you behave and what you choose to do.
So what I get this question. So we interview a lot of people who want to join our firm, and one of the questions that we've gotten recently, or that I get, is, what is the most surprising thing that you've learned? And I've been here 17 years now, hard to believe. What's the most surprising thing that you've learned? And the reason I'm bringing this up is because it's the psychology of money. It's the behavioral aspects of what we do day in and day out when we're meeting with people. A lot of people just think it's numbers and dollar signs, but it's really more about driving behavior to get people to understand that it's about not just what you're bringing in, but also what you're spending, how comfortable you are with money, and knowing that sometimes in life you have to make decisions, and it's about needs versus wants. And in talking and working through those psychological things with clients. The number of clients who have passed away over the 17 years, the number of clients who've lost jobs, the number who have babies and grandchildren, and all these things, they lost a loved one or a spouse. The psychology of money digs into all of those different things. And so I'm hijacking Jessica's topic, but it's really, that financial touchy-feely stuff, which I wasn't prepared for when I started 17 years ago, but I think I've kind of learned along the way.
And you started during an interesting time, too. You started in the 08-09, so I can imagine that was a dive into really what psychology of money is all about, is the fear of what's going on in the real world, and how do I adjust my life to that.
Right. And Jessica's right. I started in August of 2008, which is right when the financial crisis was happening. For those people who seem to remember that or have completely forgot about it, I'm bringing it back up. And I thought it was normal, the volatility, because I wasn't really paying too much attention to what was happening day in and day out. But you learn really quick in those type of panic situations how to deal with people, how to talk them off the ledge, hypothetically speaking, or literally speaking. And people were just scared and fearful. And so it's knowing how they feel about money, and everybody's different. It really has to do with how you were raised, has to deal with your feelings about money. But 2008, 2009 was definitely an interesting time to start in this industry. It's similar to COVID, shortly after you started.
Yeah, absolutely. And you say how you're raised, but there's sometimes people maybe change their story because of how they're raised, or maybe they have a fear of missing out, trying to keep up with the Joneses, whatever it may be, whatever their excuse is to do the things that they do. And that's not always the right thing. Sometimes it's okay to change your story.
Right. And we also often get clients who say, well, I don't want to die with nothing. Right.
Right.
And the problem is you're 60 and you no longer have a paycheck, and you say that you want to die with nothing. And so you have to deal with those kind of mentalities too, of talking through what that actually looks like when you're factoring in, their inflation and the things that they want to do between now and when the good Lord calls them home.
And the unknown of what future may bring with healthcare costs, and you can't predict what you're really going to need as you age.
Right. Yeah. And so in situations like that, we always try to build in buffers so that we know that we're going to have something, and we have some sort of buffer left at the end of life. But there's so many unknowns over that 30 years that are going to occur. And that's really why we do planning, right?
Right. And, we have the opposite, too, where some people are so scared to spend that we almost have to coach them that it's okay to go do the things that you want to do. And that's why that planning piece is so important, because if you want to know that you can do it, we want to be able to show you that you can do it. But then you have to go out and do it. And sometimes it's hard for people to spend the money when they don't have a paycheck coming in. So maybe they don't take the trip that they want, or, they don't withdraw from their accounts as often as they possibly could,
right?
Because they're scared to let it go.
Right, they don't fix the kitchen, or do the things that they've always talked to. And actually, when we do data gathering for clients, we always talk about that. We're like, what goals, long-term goals do you have? And we always try to get everything. We try to pull everything out of them, because it's almost as bad knowing that you could do something and not doing it. So you just never, if you never find out if you could do it, you at least want to ask the question, could I have done this thing that I wanted to do? If you can't do it, great, but if you could have done it and you never asked the question, you may, live life with regret. And that goes into, again, the psychology that we're discussing.
Yeah. And that's really what I love about the planning piece, is we can show you exactly what can you do, how much can you spend, and maybe in some of those down years, you take it back and lower some of the discretionary spending. But again, we want to show you that you can do it if you can do it.
Yeah, it's important. And we always like to lead it with our appointments that we meet with and our prospects that we meet with, and to always turn it back to a planning discussion, because really we're more focused on the planning pieces and all the things that go to make that plan a reality. And the investment part is important, but the spending part is important, the income part is important, the tax part is important. So it's about tying all those loose ends together to make sure that you have a plan in place, with investments being an important part of it, because that's going to be the engine that makes it go. But all those other pieces are just as important to look at and understand and keep up to date on a regular basis.
Yeah, absolutely. And you bring up the investment piece. Another thing that we do when we onboard clients or get to know clients, or maybe it's been a few years since we've asked clients certain questions. So we'll send them a risk tolerance questionnaire, because that shows us really how they feel about risk and reward. And this is common in our industry. So even if you don't maybe work with us and you work with another financial advisor, they have their own risk tolerance questionnaire. But I really love ours. Ours is created by Helen Yang, and we know her personally. She comes to the Financial Planning Association. She's very brilliant. So this questionnaire is based to gauge how they feel with risk and reward. And they're going to ask you questions like, if you had a friend who started a business, would you invest X amount or not at all? But that's something that one of the first things we do, because anytime we invest anybody's money, we want to make sure that we're going with their own feeling about risk and reward. And we're not going to just make up our own thing, and make sure that they can tolerate the things that are going on behind the scenes.
Right. And it's not just about building an allocation where we have the right mix of stocks versus bonds, but also understanding, when some sort of event happens in the world, which something's going to happen, it always does. A market correction always occurs. Knowing, why they behave or who's going to behave the way that they do because of their feeling about, risk or loss or the type of investor that they are. So that's an important piece of that tool that we use when we onboard clients.
Yeah, and we try to uncover some biases. So common biases that you guys may hear or that we talk about are things like loss aversion. So people are they're more fearful to lose money than they are excited to gain money. So that's one that we see pretty often. They rather be more conservative than be a little bit more on the aggressive side, even if they can afford to when it comes to time, their time horizon. Anything to add there?
No, you're good.
No? Okay. Another one is anchoring. So first impressions shape your view. Stock was $100, now it's $70, so there must be a bargain, things like that. But I do hear the music in the background. Does that mean we're ready for a commercial?
We're ready for a commercial. That's how it works.
All right.
I thought you said she was a newbie.
I'm a pro.
That's a pro move right there. You hear the music, it's time to do something. And that something means go to break and pick up your phone and call in if you got a question for Jessica Hall or Aaron Bert. Two certified financial planners with the Certified Financial Group. Pick up the phone now, 844-580-9326, 844-580-WDBO, or send in those questions using the open mic feature inside the WDBO app. You're listening to On the Money, and we're planning tomorrow
Today
with the Certified Financial Group.
What is a fiduciary? When it comes to investing, a fiduciary is legally required to act in your best interest. For 40 years, planners at Certified Financial Group have been guiding our local clients toward financial peace of mind. The rest of the world is still catching up, but our team of certified financial planners are the local, experienced fiduciaries you can trust. Certified Financial Group are your Central Florida planners. Call us today.
40 years ago, I had a dream of building the best personal financial consulting firm in Central Florida. Now, with 14 certified financial planners acting as fiduciaries, I believe we're there. But don't take my word for it.
As we approach retirement, we have the freedom of choice.
Peace of mind that we now have, that's everything to us.
The people that work here are honest and caring, and I feel like I can go to sleep at night.
So schedule your no-obligation visit today at financialgroup.com, where we're planning tomorrow. For more than 40 years, our certified financial planner professionals, acting as fiduciaries, have been providing retirement planning and asset management for a fee to countless families across Central Florida.
We've been with Certified since 1992.
We're now into the third or fourth generation of clients that have come to CFG and the team here to do a great job.
It's been so long since I've been doing this that I just don't even worry about anything anymore.
We're Certified Financial Group, but we're planning tomorrow, today. Our fiduciary approach of providing retirement planning and investment management for a fee seems to resonate with our clients. But don't take my word for it.
I knew a gentleman that I worked with who had come to Certified Financial Group.
A friend of mine recommended them, and they were totally correct how good they are.
I had heard from somebody else that it was the best one in town.
I've sent several of my teacher friends here.
We're Certified Financial Group, but we're planning tomorrow, today. You may be new to the area, but we're not. For more than 40 years, our certified financial planner professionals, acting as fiduciaries, and providing retirement planning and asset management for a fee to countless families across Central Florida.
We've been with Certified since 1992.
We're now into the third or fourth generation of clients that have come to CFG and the team here to do a great job.
It's been so long since I've been doing this that I just don't even worry about anything anymore.
We're Certified Financial Group, but we're planning tomorrow, today. Black Monday, the dot-com bust, 9/11, and now 2 wars. We've pretty much seen it all. Acting as fiduciaries, our CFP professionals have been a steady hand guiding our clients to and through their retirement years.
No reason to be worried about anything.
Stay the course. You stay the course and you get there.
I don't have to worry about it like I know a lot of people look at it every day. I don't have to do that with the team here at Certified Financial Group.
We're Certified Financial Group, but we're planning tomorrow, today. Are you tired of trying to reach your advisor through a call center and being put on hold for 20 minutes? That's why we don't use one, and our clients seem to appreciate the personal touch.
They always answer my questions and really care about what's going on with me.
You can trust what they say, and they do what they say, and it gives you a comfort feeling it's hard to find in the world today.
Waiting for you to call almost. You almost feel like that.
We're Certified Financial Group, but we're planning tomorrow, today.
As an investor, you want peace of mind. You need to know that your advisor is not only thoroughly competent, but also a fiduciary. In other words, he or she is acting at all times in your best interests. You need to trust your advisor, regardless of how much money you have to invest or what part of the world you're in. It might not be your money you're entrusting the advisor with. Perhaps you're a board member of a charity or foundation whose future depends on prudent investment. Or perhaps you have the responsibility of making investment decisions on behalf of other people. As the trustee of a retirement plan, the decisions you make can have a direct impact on the lives of your employees. Whatever type of investor you are, the solution is to use an advisor certified by the Center for Fiduciary Excellence. A CFEX certified advisory firm demonstrates its adherence to a global fiduciary standard of excellence, a defined standard with specific criteria.
Welcome back to On the Money here on WDBO AM 580, always streaming inside your very own WDBO app. If you want to join the conversation, I personally know 2 certified financial planners waiting to take your calls by the name of Aaron Bert and Jessica Hall with the Certified Financial Group, available at 844-580-9326, 844-580 WDBO. Also, if you want to call and talk to somebody off the air, we have Rodney Ownby on hold at 407-869-9800. 407-869-9800. 2 exciting opportunities for you to talk to live certified financial planners. Speaking of exciting opportunities, Aaron, there are some things going on inside the 4 walls there as well.
Yeah, we have 2 real big announcements of things that happened this week. The first being that we were named to the CNBC Top 100 Investment Advisory Firms in the United States. So that's a big one. We were named in 1 year previously, in 2023, I believe, or 2022, and we were named again this year. And so we're super excited and proud of that as a firm. Only 100 firms in the whole country were chosen, and we were one of the top 100 firms in the nation chosen by CNBC's group. And so we have a whole thing on our website about the CNBC Top 100. I'm sure you'll be hearing it in our ads and other things like that, but that was announced this week. The second thing, kind of tying into that, is our firm, as a firm, has hit $3 billion in assets under management. And so we are, like we say in our ads, we're one of the largest independent financial planning firms in Central Florida. And with our new AUM number, we may actually be the largest, especially when you take into account the 17 certified financial planner professionals that we have under one roof. A lot of times people see our building, they see our worldwide headquarters in Altamont Springs. They don't understand the size of the firm that we actually have, the amount of professionals, the amount of brain power, and the amount of assets now that we have under management here at our firm. That was a huge milestone for us to hit that $3 billion mark. And we appreciate all of our clients who've helped us to get there. And we were celebrating that yesterday, and we continue to look forward to growing with our clients in Central Florida. So those are the two big announcements that we had. And it looked like we had a call, but I think Mike dropped off. So
Yeah, but I can ask the question for you if you like.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Mike wanted to know that if a couple is divorcing, are there certain taxes to consider when dividing assets like a house?
Certain taxes to consider. What do you think, Jess?
Yeah, absolutely. You always have your, for his example, like a house, the capital gain exclusion is based on if you're married or single. So if one spouse takes over the house and they sell it as a single individual, then they may lose their married exclusion, which is $500,000. But if you're single, it's $250,000. So if you have more than $250,000 of gain in your property that you sell after divorce, then that may hurt your.
Yeah, and honestly, in the very first year when you get divorced, do you file your last tax return as married, or do you file it as single?
You do not. You file it as single.
You file it as single. So even if you got divorced and sold the house, it wouldn't benefit you in that first year to sell the house.
Right. So if there's a huge gain on your house, you may want to try and cordially sell the house before you guys get divorced, before it's final.
Right. Or any other assets that you actually get that gets split up, you would just inherit the basis for which they were originally purchased. So there's not what's called a step up in basis, which occurs when somebody passes away. You inherit assets at the fair market value for cost basis purposes. But in a divorce, it basically, the basis gets split and you get your assets at the basis for which they were purchased. So from a tax perspective, I think the biggest thing is the house, which is one, and then the fact that you're going to lose, the bigger standard deduction of being married, especially if you were a one-income household, and now you're splitting that up. So there are some implications there, and so you may want to speak with a professional about it if that's something that's concerning to you. But thanks for the call, Mike. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mike. If you want to call in, we got open lines for you available at 844-580-9326. Call in even if you're not named Mike, by all means. 844-580-WDBO. Rodney will be standing by off the air. 407-869-9800. Send in your question using the open mic feature inside the WDBO app. You're listening to On the Money, where we're planning tomorrow,
today,
with the Certified Financial Group.
Our fiduciary approach of providing retirement planning and investment management for a fee seems to resonate with our clients. But don't take my word for it.
I knew a gentleman that I worked with who had come to Certified Financial Group.
A friend of mine recommended them, and they were totally correct how good they are.
I had heard from somebody else that it was the best one in town.
I've sent several of my teacher friends here.
We're Certified Financial Group, where we're planning tomorrow, today. You may be new to the area, but we're not. For more than 40 years, our certified financial planner professionals, acting as fiduciaries and providing retirement planning and asset management for a fee to countless families across Central Florida.
We've been with Certified since 1992.
We're now under the third or fourth generation of clients that have come to CFG and the team here to do a great job.
It's been so long since I've been doing this that I just don't even worry about anything anymore.
We're Certified Financial Group, but we're planning tomorrow, today. Black Monday, the dot-com bust, 9/11, and now 2 wars. We've pretty much seen it all. Acting as fiduciaries, our CFP professionals have been a steady hand guiding our clients to and through their retirement years.
No reason to be worried about anything.
Stay the course. You stay the course, and you get there.
I don't have to worry about it like I know a lot of people look at it every day. I don't have to do that with the team here at Certified Financial Group.
We're Certified Financial Group, but we're planning tomorrow, today. Are you tired of trying to reach your advisor through a call center and being put on hold for 20 minutes? That's why we don't use one, and our clients seem to appreciate the personal touch.
They always answer my questions and really care about what's going on with me.
You can trust what they say, and they do what they say, and it gives you a comfort feeling it's hard to find in the world today.
You know, waiting for you to call almost. You almost feel like that.
We're Certified Financial Group, but we're planning tomorrow, today.
As an investor, you want peace of mind. You need to know that your advisor is not only thoroughly competent, but also a fiduciary. In other words, he or she is acting at all times in your best interests. You need to trust your advisor, regardless of how much money you have to invest or what part of the world you're in. It might not be your money you're entrusting the advisor with. Perhaps you're a board member of a charity or foundation whose future depends on prudent investment. Or perhaps you have the responsibility of making investment decisions on behalf of other people. As the trustee of a retirement plan, the decisions you make can have a direct impact on the lives of your employees. Whatever type of investor you are, the solution is to use an advisor certified by the Center for Fiduciary Excellence. A CFEX certified advisory firm demonstrates its adherence to a global fiduciary standard of excellence, a defined standard with specific criteria covering 21 best practices. The documented, repeatable processes and the evidence-based decision-making that CFEX demands are more likely to generate investment portfolios that match client needs and expectations. And because the firm voluntarily agrees to a rigorous annual audit, investors can rest assured that their advisor continues to work to the highest professional standards. This independent verification is even more critical for trustees and investment committee members of retirement plans who are legally required to conduct regular due diligence on their service providers. Use a CFEX certified firm, and that job has been done already by an expert at no expense to the plan. So why leave anything to chance? Insist on working with investment professionals you can truly trust. Insist on using a CFEX certified advisor.
So you guys don't know Chicago, but I'm sure in your neighborhood you guys have an old school butcher where you walk in and there's a bunch of guys, no gloves, big white aprons, and there's Frank and there's Stevie and there's Mikey. And these guys know more about meat and more about animals and more about cooking the meat than any of us will ever learn. And so you walk in and you say, hey, Lou, I need to, I'm barbecuing this weekend, right? What do you like? And Lou goes to the big racks of stuff he has underneath the glass, and he goes, the veal chops, just in from Argentina, they are the bomb. And you go, veal, oh, I like veal. What do you got?
Took the midnight rain. Welcome back to On the Money here on WDBO, AM 580, always streaming inside your WDBO app. If you want to join the conversation, we got some open lines for you available at 844-580-9326, 844-580-WDBO. We also have open mic features available. If you open up that WDBO app, look at the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see the words open and mic. That means the open mic feature is available for you. If you want to record your 10 to 15 second question, I'll play it back live as if you're sitting in studio with team members of the Certified Financial Group, Aaron Bert and Jessica Hall.
There you go. So Jessica and I are here, as we said at the top of the hour, to talk about anything having to do with your personal financial situation. Whether, we're talking about 401ks, IRAs, your investment portfolio, anything having to do with financial planning, accumulation, decumulation, taxes, long-term healthcare, stocks, bonds, annuities, mutual funds, ETFs, all that and more. We can talk about Bitcoin if you want. I don't really like talking about it, but we can do that too. But Jessica and I are here to take your questions on the air. And if you are not interested in being on the air, we also have Rodney Ownby, CFP, and he's also a CPA. So if you have more tax-specific questions, he's available as well. Taking calls at our office number, actually, 407-869-9800. But if you want to talk to us, the numbers, Josh, are
844-580-9326, 844-580-WDBO.
Thank you for that. I also want to mention on our website, like I said earlier, we had two huge announcements in our company. One being that we made the CNBC top 100 financial advisors in the nation. We made that list here for 2025. We're very proud of that as a firm. And we're touting it on our website. So if you go to our website, you'll see that. But also on our website, you'll be able to sign up for our workshops, which are upcoming. We have several of them coming up. One regarding Social Security Planning Basics. That's on a Wednesday evening. Actually, that's coming up October 8th, hosted by Charles Curry, CFP. Here in our office, 6:30 to 8. So if you're interested in learning more about Social Security, it's a great workshop that Charles puts on. You can go to our website and sign up for that one. Additionally, Charles is hosting another workshop regarding long-term care planning. That's October 18th. That's a Saturday morning here in our office right after the radio show, October 18th. And then Dave Ballykrishnan is talking about tax planning through the 4 stages of retirement, November 1st, also a Saturday here in our office. All of those workshops are available to be signed up on our website, financialgroup.com. Financialgroup.com. And I think we got some text questions that came in, Josh.
That's right. Again, available to you as the open mic feature inside the WDBO app. Open up that app. Send in your question using the open mic. Also available live on the air, 844-580-9326. And we also have Rodney Ownby off the air at 407-869-9800. What was the old expression? All roads lead to Rome or something like that?
Yes.
I feel like we have all forms of communication leading to Aaron Bert and Jessica Hall right now with the Certified Financial Group. Okay.
Almost the
back
same
to the
thing.
text.
Yeah, text questions. Hit it.
When in Rome, we talk about finances. Here we go. Ryan says, Ryan received a letter in the mail saying I have to take a, quote, required minimum distribution. Is this something I have to do every year?
Oh, Ryan, yeah. Congratulations. You're officially RMD age.
Nice.
Yeah.
Which is, how old is it, RMD age?
This year it's 73, but if you were born in the 60s or later, it's 75. So Ryan, you must be 73. Congratulations again. Do you have to take your required minimum distribution every year? Yes, you do. And those who do not know, required minimum distribution is the amount that the government requires you to take out of any of your retirement pre-tax accounts. So that is not including any Roth accounts, but your traditional IRAs, your 401ks, your SEPs, they require you to take your very first year. It's about 3.65% of the prior year's balance. And they do that because you got a tax deduction when the money went in. It's grown tax deferred all these years. And so they're ready to finally start receiving money for taxes, right? As correct. They do. So every year you're going to have to take a certain amount based on the prior year's December 31st balance. And that amount is going to grow as you age because it is based on a life expectancy table. So Ryan, next year, if the markets continue to do well, then you will have to take more than you did this year and so on and so forth. But you do have to take it every year. And you want to make sure to do that because there are penalties if you don't take your RMD. They were kind. The last Secure Act, they did lower the penalty. So it is now 25% penalty if you do not take your required minimum distribution. So if you are not working with a professional and you have questions on what that means, how to do it, how to calculate it, where do I find my amount, give our office a call. We'd love to walk you through it. But it is very important. Again, you do not want to get penalized on top of owing taxes on what you have to distribute.
Now there are some caveats to that, and the first caveat being, in your very first RMD, you actually can delay it until April 1st of the following year. So the year you turned 74, you can delay it to April 1st. But then people always say, well, do I have to take 2 that year? And then the answer is yes, you do have to take 2 in that 1 year. So a lot of times it doesn't make sense to push it off to take 2 unless you're still working the year you're 73, you retire, and then you don't have as much income in the year you turn 74. So that may make sense to do it in that instance.
Right.
So that's one of the caveats. The other question we get a lot too is, the other caveat is, if I'm still working, do I have to take required minimum distributions from my 401k? And the answer to that is, as long as you're not a 5% or greater owner, you can use the still working exemption and not have to take required minimum distributions from your work's retirement account. So,
but you do from your IRAs.
Yes, you still have to take it from your IRAs, but not necessarily from your 401ks. So there are some exceptions to that rule. And then the other question we always get is, well, I got to take my required minimum distribution, but what do I do with it? And so what are the options for what to do with your RMD?
Yeah, everybody has the same options, right? You can either take it and spend it. Any of these options that you do, you can send money to the IRS, so you can do what's called withholding. And based on your own tax bracket, you can decide how much you want to withhold. But you can take it and spend it. You can maybe pay a little bit of taxes, roll it over into an investment account or a brokerage account and reinvest it. If you don't need the money that year, you can certainly do that. Another option, which is a great one if you're charitably inclined, is called a qualified charitable distribution. So if you have any qualified charities or churches that you donate to on a regular basis, then you can do it more of a lump sum with your required minimum distribution. And that would be a non-taxable distribution. So, there's not many tax deductions we can get these days. Standard deduction is so high. But if you distribute to a qualified charity, that is not included in your income tax that year.
Yeah, and it has to be directly from your IRA directly to the charity. So you can't take a distribution from your IRA and then write a check to the charity and then say, I did a QCD. It doesn't work that way.
Right.
It's basically a withdrawal from the IRA directly to the charity, and then that qualifies you for a qualified charitable distribution, which basically means it's excluded from your income for that year. It's a really great tax deduction strategy. If you are already charitably inclined and giving to charities already, it's a great way to kind of bunch that up and just give it all at once. And I don't even remember it's a big, you can give up to $105,000.
It's indexed every year. So every year it increases a little bit.
And so QCDs is a great way to do the RMDs, but you can do QCDs as early as age 70 and a half.
Right.
So the old RMD age used to be 70 and a half, and so they made that the QCD starting age. But when they changed the RMD age, they didn't change the QCD age. So if you're 70 and a half or older and you are giving to charities, you can give directly out of your IRA and get a tax deduction or basically exclude that distribution from your taxable income. So anyone who's 70 and a half or older, QCDs is a great way to be giving to charity if you're charitably inclined. So great way to do that.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, great question. We appreciate you texting in and asking the question.
Thank you much, Ryan. Let's say we go to Barb out of Tarpon Springs. Barb is retiring with a pension, and Barb needs to decide if she wants to take the lump sum or the monthly payment. Is there one that is better than the other?
Ooh, tough decision, Barb.
It depends.
Yeah, there's no right answer, right? As we said in the beginning of the show, everybody's situation's different. So that's the importance of financial planning. Maybe if you don't have a large nest egg to pull from, a good liquidity bucket, then maybe you need the lump sum. So that way, as emergencies come, you can pull from the lump sum pension. But if maybe you have enough liquidity, but you don't have any income, then you're going to need the monthly pension payout? So that's a great planning question.
Right. Yeah.
And we get that often too.
Yeah, and it gets even more complicated if you're married, right? So then you got to factor in, survivor benefits for
Right.
spouses. How much of a lump sum are they actually going to give you? So there's some math involved there. What's your health like? Do you want to leave a legacy for your children? There's all sorts of different questions that need to be factored in there. And actually, the lump sum option and the lack of liquidity is why the state of Florida started the drop program, which for those who are not familiar that have a Florida pension, they have the drop program where you can actually start your pension and put it into an account and start accumulating that money on a tax-deferred basis
While you're still working.
Until you retire. And then when you retire, you have this pot of money, and then you get to keep the pension as well going forward. And they did that because people were retiring, like Jessica said, with no liquidity, but they had this great pension. But a lot of times, you getting $3,000 or $4,000 a month is great. But if you need to buy a car or you have home improvements or something, it takes a long time to kind of save up money to get liquidity to be able to do those kind of things. And so they created the drop program in order to help create liquidity events and still have the pension option as well. So that's an option for people that are in the FRS, State of Florida pension system. But the idea to take a pension, and then on a pension, there's also, pension maximization strategies, right?
Right.
How's that work?
Well, if you are married and you need a little bit of a survivor benefit for your spouse, but the difference between what the survivor benefit and the no survivor benefit is, help me out
There's
here.
a
So
delta there.
there's a difference there in the monthly payment. So then we do pension max strategies where we can get a life insurance policy where the premium is actually less than that delta. So then you're still getting the higher monthly pension amount, but you're getting a life insurance policy to cover, the main important years, maybe the next 20 years, if something were to happen to you. So you were protecting your spouse and family while taking the higher pension amount. And then if something happens to your spouse and you no longer need that life insurance, you can cancel the life insurance, get rid of the premium, and you still keep your higher pension amount. Versus if you went ahead with the monthly pension that has the higher benefit and something happens to your spouse, well, now you locked in that lower benefit. So you're locking in a higher pension amount, you're protecting your spouse and family, but if something does happen to your spouse before you can cancel that life insurance.
Right. It's giving you control over that benefit and allowing you to make the decision about whether or not you want to keep the life insurance or not. And these are the kind of questions that we deal with day in and day out when we're meeting with clients talking about their personal financial retirement situation. And like Jessica said, everybody's situation is different, which is why we get into the weeds a lot of times. And we want to know about your pensions, and we want to know about your liquidity and your feelings about leaving a legacy. And this is all part of what we do day in.
Psychology of money.
Yeah, that's right. That's what we do day in and day out here at the Certified Financial Group when we're meeting with clients and talking about their personal financial situation. So if you're interested and you want to get to know our firm better, go to our website, financialgroup.com. You can sign up for one of our workshops. You can also make an appointment if you're interested in meeting with one of our 17 certified financial planner professionals. So financialgroup.com and check us out there.
We'd love to help you, Barb.
Thank you so much, Jessica Hall and Aaron Bert, two certified financial planners with the Certified Financial Group. If you want to hop on the air, we got open lines, 844-580-9326, 844-580-WDBO. We also have Rodney Ownby taking calls off the air. He's available at 407-869-9800. You're listening to On the Money, where we're planning tomorrow,
today,
with the Certified Financial Group.
So you guys don't know Chicago, but I'm sure in your neighborhood you guys have an old school butcher where you walk in and there's a bunch of guys, no gloves, big white aprons, and there's Frank and there's Stevie and there's Mikey. And these guys know more about meat and more about animals and more about cooking the meat than any of us will ever learn. And so you walk in, you say, hey, Lou, I'm barbecuing this weekend, right? What do you like? And Lou goes to, you know, the big racks of stuff he has underneath the glass, and he goes, you know, the veal chops, just in from Argentina, they are the bomb. And you go, veal, oh, I like veal. What do you got on skirt steak? Oh, we got some great skirt steak, just came in yesterday from Montana. Skirt steak is one of my favorite, marinated up a little bit, it's fantastic. Lou will never say to you, you know, Elliot, it's a little long on the meat here, big guy. Your cholesterol is getting high. Why don't you go down to the fishmonger a couple blocks and have a nice piece of salmon? Right? He'll never do that. Why? His job is to sell me meat, and I go in, actually the same way I go into the Toyota dealership, because I like Toyotas, and I trust the salesman to sell me a good product if I trust him. And the fact that he's got my interest at heart vis-a-vis my expectations for selling me that thing. By the same token, when I go to see a dietitian, I know she's going to look at all of my labs, she's going to take all the measurements, she's going to run all of her analysis, and she's going to absolutely give me her best thinking on what's best for me. Whether she's a vegetarian or a meat lover, likes this, likes that, if she thinks I should be doing something differently, even if it's not good for her, she's going to give me an opinion that's for my interest. So what's the difference between a fiduciary and the brokers? Well, these are dietitians, these are butchers. It's that simple. Brokers are butchers selling product. Fiduciaries are dietitians looking after your health. The problem is most people think that their butcher is a dietitian. So when one of your moms or dads or friends calls the broker and says, you know, I got 200 grand, I sold a little piece of property, or I got some inheritance, what should I do with it? They're going in thinking they're talking to a dietitian, and they're really talking to Lou the butcher.
What is a fiduciary? When it comes to investing, a fiduciary is legally required to act in your best interest. For 40 years, planners at Certified Financial Group have been guiding our local clients toward financial peace of mind. The rest of the world is still catching up, but our team of certified financial planners are the local, experienced fiduciaries you can trust. Certified Financial Group are your Central Florida planners. Call us today.
40 years ago, I had a dream of building the best personal financial consulting firm in Central Florida. Now, with 14 certified financial planners acting as fiduciaries, I believe we're there. But don't take my word for it.
As we approach retirement, we have the freedom of choice.
Peace of mind that we now have, that's everything to us.
The people that work here are honest and caring, and I feel like I can go to sleep at night.
So schedule your no-obligation visit today at financialgroup.com, or we're planning tomorrow. For more than 40 years, our certified financial planner professionals, acting as fiduciaries, have been providing retirement planning and asset management for a fee to countless families across Central Florida.
We've been with Certified since 1992.
We're now into the third or fourth generation of clients that have come to CFG and the team here to do a great job.
It's been so long since I've been doing this that I just don't even worry about anything anymore.
We're Certified Financial Group, but we're planning tomorrow, today. Our fiduciary approach of providing retirement planning and investment management for a fee seems to resonate with our clients. But don't take my word for it.
I knew a gentleman that I worked with who had come to Certified Financial Group.
A friend of mine recommended them, and they were totally correct how good they are.
I had heard from somebody else that it was the best one in town.
I've sent several of my teacher friends here.
We're Certified Financial Group, but we're planning tomorrow, today. You may be new to the area, but we're not. For more than 40 years, our certified financial planner professionals, acting as fiduciaries, have been providing retirement planning and asset management for a fee to countless families across Central Florida.
We've been with Certified since 1992.
We're now into the third or fourth generation of clients that have come to CFG and the team here to do a great job.
It's been so long since I've been
to On the Money here on WDBO AM 580, always streaming inside your WDBO app. If you want to join the conversation, got just a few minutes left of this edition of On the Money. Aaron Bert, Jessica Hall standing by to answer your calls at 844-580-9326, 844-580-WDBO. But as this episode comes to an end, the availability of the Certified Financial Group continues because Rodney Ownby is taking calls in the office as the show, right now actually, and after the show ends. And that number is 407-869-9800. Aaron, Jessica, got just a few minutes left.
Yeah, and I want to circle back to two things. One being, if you want to learn more about our firm and what we do and how we do it, or you just want to get a taste of, what we're all about, we do have workshops that you can sign up for on our website, financialgroup.com. We also launched a new fly-through ad, which I believe is now on our website as well, where you can we have a drone fly through our office so you can kind of see our setup, see our offices, get to know us a little bit better. And really, it's about you'd be surprised. The topic of today was the psychology of money, but you'd be surprised about the angst that people have when they come to see us. People would rather,
I know what he's thinking.
Yeah, they'd rather get their, a root canal than come see a financial planner for some reason. Yeah, we've heard it all. And so it's really, our office is set up in such a way that we try to invite you in to be comfortable, to have a conversation, to talk about your financial life and get you on the straight and narrow. People are just fearful. And that goes back to that psychology of money. They're fearful that they've made financial accidents, as Joe likes to say, or financial mistakes, and they just didn't make good planning decisions along the way, and they're fearful of what we're going to tell them. And our job is not to judge you or tell you whether you did good or bad. Our job is to tell you, what you need to do now, so you don't look back 5 or 10 years from now and say, gee, I wish I would have done this, or gee, I wish I would have done that. And so that's what we do. And so our website, financialgroup.com, is a way for you to kind of peer into our office, see what we're all about, get comfortable with us, schedule an appointment, or maybe come in and do one of our workshops. And again, we have 3 of those coming up, and you can schedule to attend any of those online. Again, financialgroup.com is a great place to be able to see that information. I do also want to circle back and tout our CNBC Top 100 Financial Advisory Firms in the nation. We were added to that list for the year 2025 by CNBC, so that was just announced on October 1st. We're very proud of that distinction here with our company, and we have more information about that again on our website, financialgroup.com. And also, we passed a huge milestone this week with our company. We hit $3 billion in assets under management, making us one of the largest independent financial planning firms in Central Florida. And we've been doing this for 30 plus years on the radio, but we've been in business for 40 plus years, and we're working now with our 3rd and 4th generation of clients over that time. And we would love to work with you and your children and maybe your grandchildren as well at some point. I probably wouldn't be here to do that, but Jessica and the rest of the team may at some point. Jessica's a little bit younger than me, in case you haven't noticed. So we really appreciate everybody listening in. Again, if you want more information about our company, you can go to financialgroup.com, and congratulations, Jessica, on your first On the Money radio show. I think you did a great job.
Thanks for having me. Thanks, Josh.
Thank you so much, Jessica and Aaron. You have just listened to On the Money, where we're planning tomorrow
today
with the Certified Financial Group.